Hello, so usually my Sega Saturn collection would be somewhere down here in this space, filling up them shelves there. Well, as you can see, the Saturn collection is out here on the computer desk, completely kind of dwarfing the computer because it's time for a Sega Saturn collection update. Awesome. This is what a Sega Saturn looks like, if you didn't know that, and that's what two Sega Saturns look like, because that's how many I have. So here is the collection on the desk, and as you can see it's kind of laid out in a kind of order. So going to probably do the video in two parts because kind of filler and killer and imports and stuff, so let's get back to it. So in my Saturn collection I only have a few doubles, duplicates, whatever you want to call them. So I'm not going to include them, I don't see the point, they'll just draw the video out. So I'll get into first a couple of the cartridges that I own, and I own the backup memory cartridge, as it says there, which is basically for saving your games to. You can save directly to that. And also I have the Action Replay 4M Plus. It's not the original one, it's actually one of the kind of Chinese copies, which is basically the one that you'll get if you buy one brand new now, and you can tell usually which one it is because it doesn't have a further, I think there's like a serial port on the original Action Replay cart. And first, actually I should say that obviously you use this as a cheat cartridge and also to play import games on the Saturn. In it also has the 4 meg and 1 meg RAM cartridge kind of abilities built in, so you can play any game that requires extended memory. So going on to imports, go through the first three here. They're not really games as such, and they are the Virtua Fighter Portrait series. These are Japanese, and it's basically just like music and pictures and stuff like that. They're really bizarre. I believe it was something to do with you had to buy Virtua Fighter, and then it was something that you had to mail away for in Japan, and then with tokens or vouchers, whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was, but they're not actual games. I've got three of them. I've got Shun-Di, Wolf and Leon. So that leads me on to kind of the Virtua Fighter games, and I've got Virtua Fighter Remix, which is the kind of remade version of the first Virtua Fighter game, because the original port was a sloppy port. And here's one of the best, if not the best, fighting game for the Saturn, Fighters Megamix, again Japanese import. So another couple of Japanese imports here, this time SNK Fighters, and first one's King of Fighters 95. Obviously you got the disc there, and this comes with a ROM cartridge which actually has game data on it. It's not the same as a RAM cartridge, it's not a memory expansion as such, it actually has data on it which the game needs. So another game here, Real Bout Fatal Fury. Not quite sure whether this needs any memory because it's all in Japanese obviously. So that's my Japanese games. And I've got a couple of US games, and the first one is Bug. So this was kind of one of the first games that was kind of showcased on the Saturn, and it comes in the big box variety. Pretty cool game. So yeah, worth checking out, that one. And Madden 97, not really got anything to say about this because it's factory sealed, although there's a little tear, but it's got the hang tab and everything, so I mean it's not really worth anything, but I've just kept it sealed because I know that the game will be crap really anyway. So that's my imports and cartridges sorted out, and next up is the kind of filler titles in my collection. So just creeping into video view below me here, they're actually kind of sat on top of a cardboard box and a Philips CDI, but that's just the way how I roll. And what I've got here is what I call the filler games, and don't take that literally that they're all just useless filler titles. Some of them I've just put into this kind of, you know, I basically had to you know, think of a way to split the video into two parts, and you know, I wanted to round it off into two parts rather than just getting halfway through a big, you know, massive stack of games and then having to split the video. I wanted to kind of round it off, so they're not necessarily bad games, just games that I've not really got much to say about as such. And some of them are bad games, to be honest, but there are some bad games in the next half of the collection update. First game, Sega Worldwide Soccer 98, just an update of Sega Worldwide Soccer 97 really. Decent football game for the time. So yeah, Athlete Kings, Sega Button Masher. So yeah, similar to is it Track and Field, Konami game was it? But yeah, Sega arcade game. Pebble Beach Golf Links, got a few golf games for the Saturn, mainly shit. This looks like the one where it's just really digitised characters. It looks okay, but it doesn't play that great. Pro Pinball The Web, I don't like this pinball game, basically just because there's only one table on it. I mean, why bother making a whole game just for one table? It eludes me. FIFA 97, not the best FIFA game. If I remember correctly, it was worse than 96 and worse than 98, so kind of one that should be forgotten really. NBA Live 97, not a bad basketball game, but again, it's not memorable, so that's why it's in this list, or pile should I say. World Cup Golf, this game's actually the German version. I was about to say Germanese or something. Yeah, just another golf game. Cyber Speedway, futuristic racer. Not really a fan of this. It's not that great, it's not that fast or anything. FIFA 96, the Mega Drive version was better than this. And the Mega Drive version was probably the best version, along with the SNES of FIFA 96. Classic game Worms, only really a classic game in 2-player though, not something you want to play and pick up and play by yourself, but it's good multiplayer for up to 4 players. Sega Worldwide Soccer 97, like I say, 98 was an update of this, decent game, better than the FIFAs of the time. So So yeah. PGA Tour 97, yet another golf game. Seems to be quite a few of these on the Saturn. Steep slope sliders, pretty decent snowboarding game for the Saturn, kind of like the rival to Cool Borders. Croc, a game that a lot of people seem to have fond memories of. Not a fan of it, to be honest. I've also got the PlayStation version and got no intent to play that whatsoever. Tomb Raider, you know, it's in the kind of, not really got much to say about it, because what can you say about Tomb Raider? You know, some people say it invented the 3D genre that we know today, but yeah, there's like a million copies of it out there. Actua Soccer Club Edition, yep, just Actua Soccer with real clubs. NHL 97, decent hockey game. I used to love this on the Mega Drive, but the Saturn's obviously 3D version. Hardcore 4x4, one of the worst racing games I've ever played. The graphics on it are absolutely shocking. Olympic soccer, mediocre football game, not worth bothering with really. Daytona USA now. Daytona is a classic game, but this Saturn, this is the, you know, the release launch title kind of version, not the championship circuit edition, whatever it's called. The draw distance on it and the frame rate's really shoddy. Black Dawn, just a rubbish helicopter game. Firestorm Thunderhawk 2, a slightly less rubbish helicopter game. This was a decent-ish game back in the day, but it's not really aged well. It's not got very good draw distance like a lot of 32-bit 3D games. Andretti Racing, quite like this one. It's got Indy cars and NASCARs, whatever you want to call them, in it. So yeah, I quite enjoyed playing that when I put that on. International Victory Goal, some kind of football game, can't remember anything about it, so pretty much sums it up. Battle Arena Toshinden Remix, basically a port of the PlayStation game. Not sure whether it had some extra characters or whatever in there, but it's pretty average fighting game, but it is pretty amusing. Tunnel B1, this was a game I used to own on the PlayStation. It's kind of weird. It's like a first person shooter, but you're in like a vehicle. It's just weird. NHL Power Play, really decent hockey game, really like the style of this one, so it's definitely, I'd probably say my favourite Saturn hockey game, if not 32-bit hockey game. World 2 is baseball 2, the graphics look pretty decent, but I don't know how to play baseball. World League Soccer 98, I always found that the World League Soccer games had kind of backwards controls, but they were solid games back in the day, but the controls take some getting used to. Command and Conquer, excellent game. The only reason it's in this list is just it's available on the PC and so many other platforms. There's not really much reason to play it on the Saturn. Soviet Strike, yeah, I've never really seen the appeal of the Strike series. It doesn't really float my boat or fly my helicopter, so to speak. Actually got another copy of FIFA 97 there. I don't know where the fuck that came from. I didn't realise I had 2 copies of it. high octane. There seems to be a load of fanboys for this game, but looking at the back of the box, the images are clearly from a PC game. Yeah, it says here, screenshots represent IBM PC CD version. It won't fucking fool me. Actua Golf, just like soccer but golf, so it's Actua Golf. Slam and Jam 96. I also own a sealed version of this, which I put in the other pile of games. I like this game. It's one of my one of the more memorable basketball games, I'd say. UEFA Euro 96 England is basically Actua Soccer, but the Euro 96 version. NASCAR 98, pretty boring racer, to be honest. Did a video on it recently, not really anything to say about it. The graphics are pretty horrendous. So that's the kind of first half of my Saturn collection, and the next video, the second part, will kind of be the more memorable games that I've got in my collection, which is a mix of the more memorable games I've got in my collection, but it's basically a mixture of kind of the rarer stuff. I mean, I don't own anything amazingly rare, but the rarer stuff, the stuff that I really like, and the stuff that's crap but still kind of worth picking up just to see how crap it is. So that's the second part, which will be in the next video.